At the ripe old age of 27, Patrick Mahomes has now won 2 regular season and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. This was Mahomes' 3rd Super Bowl appearance, and he's hosted the AFC Championship every year he's been a starter. It's really an incredible resume for someone not 30 years old yet. Shannon, will Patrick Mahomes end up surpassing Tom Brady as the greatest quarterback ever?
I know what you're trying to do, Skip Bayless. I ain't gonna let you do it.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you are.
I'm reading an ESPN story. Is Chiefs Patrick Mahomes on a Tom Brady-like trajectory?
Okay, that's what, hold on. That's not, see, it said trajectory. Is Patrick Mahomes, you said, will Patrick Mahomes surpass Tom Brady as the GOAT quarterback? In other words, if he doesn't, you're going to try to minimize the guy. I don't know what the future holds, but I know he's ahead of where Tom Brady was at this point in time. I think that's very, very safe to say. Would you agree?
Yep, I'll give you that.
Okay. So, with that being said, he's ahead of the curve by a long shot because at this point in time, yes, Tom had already won multiple Super Bowls, but he had never, ever won a regular season MVP. He has 2 of those on his resume.
He does.
He has 2 Super Bowl MVPs on his resume. And if I'm not mistaken, Tom only had 1 Super Bowl MVP on his resume at the time because the second one went to Deion Branch for the game against the Carolina Panthers, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
So with that being said, he's way ahead of the curve as far as where Tom Brady was at this time. Now, there's still a long, long time to go because what Tom did, if you break Tom up in 7-year increments, he's a Hall of Famer every 7 years. So here's where Mahomes is. Mahomes is about to enter year 7, year 6 as a starter. If he gets to another Super Bowl, wins it, MVP, he's the second best quarterback. He might be the second best quarterback of all time. Now, that's good. That's right now, that's between him and Joe.
Okay.
But
Joe Montana. Yep.
Joe Montana, Skip. Skip, I just don't understand. I mean, I don't think people really understand just how good he is and the numbers that he's put up, Skip. The touchdown passes, the MVPs, the 5,000-yard seasons, every year hosting the AFC Championship game, 3 appearances in the Super Bowl, 2 wins, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Yes, and Skip, it's the fashion in which he's doing it. Now, that's twice. You said the first time he didn't play well. He got down, and you said the reason why they was down 10, it was his fault. Yesterday, they was down 10, and I'm not so sure it was his fault. But he found a way to dig out of it. You look at being down 24-0 to the Houston Texans. He dug out of that. He was down by 10, 17-7 to the Tennessee Titans. He dug out of that. Down to the Buffalo Bills, and he dug out of that twice. Skip, it's really hard to say, project another 10 years into the future. But right now, nobody's had the career. Through the first 6 years, even though he's only started 5, no NFL player has had the career that Patrick Mahomes has had through the first 6 years of their career.
Okay, I hear you, but I also made a strong case to you yesterday on the 1 hour show that we did, our Super Bowl special, that I thought Patrick Mahomes' performances in his first 2 Super Bowls were being overrated and underlooked because people weren't focusing on what had happened or didn't happen because in his first 2 Super Bowls, he threw 2 touchdowns to 4 interceptions.
Yes.
And I thought, in looking at the scope of Brady's career, that Brady played 10 Super Bowls better, all 10 better than either of the 2 Patrick started out playing his first 2 Super Bowls.
You think that first one? You think the first Super Bowl?
All I know is he completed 5 straight passes to win the game at the end to set up the game walk-off field goal.
you said from start to finish. So you got to start first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. You just can't look at the last minute of the ball game. So you're saying from start to finish, that game was better than Patrick Mahomes?
Okay, but Brady wasn't asked to do very much because it was his first year starting.
So you should deduct for that. You should deduct.
But he didn't play poorly. He didn't throw interceptions. He didn't lose fumbles. He did not commit a turnover. He wasn't asked to do it until the end. And remember, the great John Madden's up in the booth saying, boy, I would shut it down and get this kid out of harm's way.
Yeah.
And the kid said, no, I'll do this, and this. And all of a sudden, Vinatieri's kicking a 49-yard walk-off.
Right.
Okay, so to me, if you look at Patrick's first Super Bowl, the shock to me was that they were down 20-10. And he threw a late third quarter interception. And I'm saying, what are you doing? Because I thought that was a game loser at that point. And yet he was very blessed and fortunate to have the rival quarterback be Jimmy G, who I call Jimmy Gag, because Patrick turns right around early fourth quarter and throws another terrible interception.
Yes.
Tipped up. He's late and behind Tyreek, and the ball is popped up in the air, and it gets picked off. And I think, well, that's it. I don't know how you can come back from this. And the 49ers could not capitalize because Jimmy Garoppolo was not good enough to capitalize, because obviously Patrick Mahomes is way better than Jimmy Garoppolo. And the thing about Jimmy G is he'll get you to the finish line and then he'll let you down. He'll tease you all the way to the bitter end and then he'll let you down. So Garoppolo in the fourth quarter goes 3 of 11 for a grand total of 36 yards and an interception, and misses Emmanuel Sanders on a late throw that could have changed our discussion right now because he was wide open at the goal line.
Yes.
And then Mahomes kicked it in gear. I give you this, but he is benefiting from what Garoppolo couldn't do, because Garoppolo has chance after chance to end the game.
Okay, let me give you that one. Jimmy G played bad in the fourth quarter. How did Jalen Hurts play in the fourth quarter?
Of this game?
This game.
Well, I thought he played sensationally.
Okay. Well, get Patrick Mahomes because he outplayed him. Mahomes outplayed him.
Okay, well, Mahomes did everything he was asked to do against a defense that was terribly overrated, and I first guessed it.
But, Skip, the thing is, see, now it's normally quarterback against quarterback. See, when Brady goes up against the guy, it's always Brady beat the quarterback. It's never, you never say anything about the defense. You talk about, well, Brady outplayed Matt Ryan. You don't look at the defense, what the Atlanta Falcons defense gave up. You don't look at that. But Mahomes, it's always, he played a sub. That defense had the third most sacks in NFL history. They had 78 sacks coming into the game. They hadn't trailed in the postseason. That was the first time they had trailed this postseason. He did that.
He did do that. He had the best protection in the NFL this year, according to Pro Football Focus.
Yes.
And it demonstrated that yesterday because did he not have time to throw?
He did. But you know what I noticed? You've never mentioned Brady's protection, only when he didn't have it against the Giants. But see, now all of a sudden, when Brady was running for his life against the Giants, you said the line couldn't protect him. But when Patrick Mahomes was running for his life against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you said he was trying to escape the pocket. He came up small. That's not what you said about Tom when he was running for his life against the Giants.
Okay, but Brady was running for his life against the Denver Broncos at Denver in the AFC Championship game.
Yes.
And he was running for his life against the Baltimore football team led by Ray Lewis. Remember, he's just running for his life in those games because he was getting Flacco'd. He was losing to Joe Flacco.
We know, Skip, quarterbacks works best when they're protected. It doesn't matter the quarterback. The better the protection, the better the quarterback, especially when you're dealing with these guys. Now, come on, I'm not second about some middle-of-the-road quarterback, some lower-level quarterback. I'm talking about the greats of the greats. I'm talking about the Bradys, the Mannings, the Mahomes, the Montanas, the Elways. The better the protection, the better they're going to perform. But I've never been a quarterback. If you hit them in the mouth enough, they're not going to start flinching. I don't care who it is.
I agree with that. They're all mortal. They're all human.
And
they don't like to get punched in the mouth.
Yes.
And if you hit them once or twice as hard as you can hit them, they're going to start to fold and crumble.
Yes.
And they psychologically, they will.
What did Al say, Skip? What was his famous quote? In the first couple of series, the quarterback must go down.
And go down.
And he must go down hard.
Okay, so my friend Dan Graziano at ESPN writes that the Chiefs have won 2 of the past 4 Super Bowls and played in another. That's dynasty stuff.
Yes.
Okay, we're starting to get into dynastic here, right?
Yeah.
Depending on how they continue to feed off this.
But Skip, if you notice, he's saying they played in 3, they won 2. So in order to be even included and thought of as a dynasty, you have to have won something significant. Your greatest prize, not when, we won 55 games, we went 17-2. That's not it. At the end of the day, did you win the ultimate prize in which your sport has to offer?
Okay, he did. But he faced Brady in his second Super Bowl, and he stunk in that game.
What about the pressure?
Lack of protection, whatever you want to say. But he stunk.
So can I ask you a question?
He had a bad game.
He did.
He had a worse game than Brady had at any point in his career in a Super Bowl.
But Brady lost 3 Super Bowls, and a lot of it had to do with pressure.
Okay.
You see how he looked yesterday when he didn't get pressure, did you?
But remember, in Brady's New England time, in his stint in New England, that's the first 6 Super Bowls. He won every one of them with a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime.
Right.
And even in the Giants, the first Eli Super Bowl, he drove them down. He went 80 yards for a touchdown, hit Randy Moss's 6-yard touchdown pass with 2 minutes left to put them ahead 14-10. He struggled the whole game, but he pulled that off. And then Belichick's defense could not stop Eli from going 75, not for a field goal, but for a touchdown to win the game.
You do realize that Patrick Mahomes did the same thing to Brady in the AFC Championship game. He had the lead. And what did Tom Brady do? Go right down the field and get the game win, get the go-ahead touchdown. Patrick Mahomes had to get the team in field goal range. Excuse me. Buckner tied it up. They lose the coin toss, and Tom Brady goes down the field.
Yeah, but what did he have to do? He had to convert 3 straight 3rd and 10s, which is virtually statistically impossible.
But they shouldn't have thrown the flag. D4 lined up offside. They shouldn't have thrown a flag on that. That's the play. That's the AFC Championship game. You don't throw flags in that moment.
Then against the Legion of Boom, Brady throws for 124 and 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter to bring him back from 24-14 down to win that game, right? And it comes down to a great play by Malcolm Butler that saves the day, right? And then the 28-3 comeback, 246 he throws for in the 4th quarter and overtime. So the point is, I haven't seen Mahomes do that. So he's still got he's got Mount Everest still yet to climb.
See, this is what I love about Brady for supporters. When Brady was throwing for marginal yards but winning, it's about winning, not stats. Because that's what y'all put on Peyton Manning's head. Peyton Manning is putting up Star Wars numbers, but Brady's winning championships. Now Mahomes win championships, and he didn't put up Star Wars number to do it. Now you say he need to throw for 400 yards and win.
But the only time he didn't put up Star Wars numbers was his first Super Bowl. Right?
He didn't put up Star Wars numbers either time against the Giants.
But the second time he had a QBR of 84, which was very good.
Is that better than 96?
But he hit Wes Welker right in the... He turned, hit him in both hands, and he dropped the ball, or we'd be having a different conversation. Right?
But if Pete Carroll and Darrell Bever done throw that ball, we're having a different conversation. So we can have a different conversation about a lot of different topics, but we can only have the discussion about what actually transpired. And so that's all I'm saying.